with respect, could we contact your family members?
I don't know if there are any, depending on who you select.
Okay.
Because if you were here,
Yes, sir.
you pointing at my family?
Yes.
Well, I'm the last one of the original.
No, I mean spiritually. Can we contact?
Oh, definitely.
Cause
Definitely.
there's a lot of stuff here.
Well, I would be extremely interested in my son.
Okay.
Okay?
Write that down, Ed.
Your son's first name?
Alfred.
Alfred.
Jr.
Gordon Jr. He was in fact, he was the commissioner in New York.
Wow.
And I never was satisfied with his death.
Do you have a lot of questions towards his death? Do you have any questions you'd like to get asked?
What really happened?
Okay, sir.
I don't think that I really
when-
got the answer.
Not to go off the questions, but when I asked you about the misery and stuff, that was part of it. It's still unsolved. It's still a lot of questions in the air, not only for you from a fatherly perspective, but in the events, the historical events of what took place and how his death came about.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in New York still, because a lot of them don't believe what it happened.
Yes, sir.
So there are questions there that haven't been resolved. It's just not something that I believe that just not the way they say it happened,
Right.
because it just doesn't add up. I had his body brought here from New York, pretty New York. And since I have a close contact with most of the funeral director, I had them to explain to me the condition of the wound and how could it possibly happen. And from what his description is and what they had in the work, the two don't.
Did they, I mean, I don't mean to hurt you or to
No.
trouble you with the thoughts, but did they try to say that he intentionally hurt himself?
Yes,
He didn't.
I know. I believe that. I wouldn't say I know, I
He-
believe that. You see, because what was happening in the event, and I mean we all speak in there because we all do. The event was that he was extremely good with firearms. He taught it. And there were 5 shots fired in the place that he lived. And 1 shot was at his demise. But I could not understand, above him, 1 floor, just above him, the lady who owns the place has a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how could it possibly be that 5 shots fired from a 9mm would not be heard by a dog?
Right.
The dog never barked. And the lady said to me, they must have used silencer. Now, if we're talking about a lady approaching 70 years of age,
Yes.
why would you know anything about a silencer? You know, so she said, it seems impossible that if we not hear anything, that the dog didn't bark. But,
Did he have a nickname?
Did he have?
Yeah, like Junebug or something like that. June.
If it was, it
June?
would be some of the people that he affiliated with. He was high in the Masons and all of that. They
Right.
might have had names for him. There were a lot of questionable things.
Prior to his passing, I don't know if you know the details and whatnot, but he had a big dispute with 2 gentlemen, and that's the question.
I heard about it.
Okay.
I heard that it was. I don't know the details, but I heard that
It was an older gentleman and the gentleman's protege or a colleague. They worked together, and they all knew each other through community standings. And
it was. I figured it had to be somebody he knew.
yes, it
Had
was.
to be somebody he knew. Because of the investigation, and there were too many cutovers.
Yes.
It wouldn't let you go where you wanted to go. But I always felt that somewhere down the line, God will fix it where you will find
Yes, sir.
know.
Yes, sir.
And maybe it's through what you're feeling and able to communicate that we'll finally get some answers about what happened.
Yes, we will. There's a when I go into other cemeteries, it's peaceful. This is a very active cemetery, and it's daytime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of activity, there's a lot of wandering,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of chatter.
Yes.
Very high amount of chatter, and the surrounding residents also hear and see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very active place. There's a lot of slaves.
Yes.
There's a lot of true African slaves here.
True,
And my religion comes from where they came from.
true.
And there's a lot of people who partook in my religion that are buried here.
Okay. You know, I found that when people come in, this is a tourist town, but a lot of people make an effort to come here.
Yes.
And people come out and they ask me if it's permissible to light a candle. They place a candle on the grave, someone without any markings, and they really perform a service.
Yes.
with it, you know. And I don't question it. I don't know what they feel, but they do that. See, there's one up there, one of the people here that was originally, the cemetery was deeded to Miss Florence White back in 1916. On her tombstone is a bow and sickle, a chain, and the Star of David. And people are saying, what's with the Star of David? And I said, well, you have to remember that Ethiopians did have that part of that religion way back then. So maybe it's something that signifies that to them, you know. But I've never been able to find out, just like this doctor here. I don't know if he's from PhD or medical or whatever it is, dentistry or whatever you have. But his name Dr. Wise there. And I haven't had anybody to go on the computer and find him yet, the background. Nice. But as you go around and things come to you, I'm sure that you'll be able to document a lot of this and answer a lot of questions for you.
Where specifically are the unmarked?
Which,
Where are the unmarked?
the unmarked,
Are they all over? Or?
You can find them all over. It's 250 of them.
Let me ask you, has there been a blessing of the grounds? A blessing of the grounds? Anybody come to?
Not to my knowledge.
Because we had thought, do you want to?
After we do our investigation and we gather all of our evidence, because we do our investigation in segments, and we were hoping that we would get the permission from you, of course, that after we conducted our investigations, we can actually perform a small service so that we can free those that are lost and that are bound here.
Sure.
And I figured we could get different pastors or ministers from different religions to cover what we could, if we could get them, and then put an ad in the paper and get people to come down here for publicity purposes too, and to, you know, anybody who has family here, that we could do a final blessing, and for those who are unmarked.
You will probably do better through the news media.
Okay.
And let the news media be your, I don't want to use the word persuasion
Okay.
about the ministers, and getting them out.
Okay.
What happened with me, the reason I say that again, I always remember that the tongue is the most dangerous thing in the world, but you speak the truth will set you free.
Right.
But I always say that when I return here, based on my experiences in dealing with certain things, I try to encourage people a different way of doing things. And I got criticized because they say, well, you think you know so much, you've been away now, and you come back and you want to know this, and you want to know that. And I said, well, I'm only trying to give you the benefit of what I've been actually involved in. Not the idea that I want to know it, but if I can help you with something, I can help you. And you are dealing on back of track, you're not going forward. And I don't like negative people around me. If you got something positive to say, I'm with you. When you go negative, I go down. Expression, but I just get on. I see you're not going anywhere, and I used to challenge that, but I found out I'm not going to get anywhere challenging that, because all of a sudden, you know, I think I know so much, and you can't tell me this, you can't tell me that, and I said, well, that's fine, you know. But I've been retired now since 1990. I do whatever I want to do. I just came back off a cruise. I got a cruise twice a year. I'm just taking 38 people along with me. Somebody said, you got 38 people following you, something must be going right. I said, I don't know, but they seem to think I'm the Pied Piper. They all want to say running behind me. And this is 2 years in a row. Last year I had 46. So, and then I would have had that many too, but because of death and illness, some of them had to come. And now they asking me when it's